Naja Wyatta, gold medal winner in the boys U17 800m at the 2026 Carifta Games in Grenada. Dominican Republic strengthens tourism push with major trade show in Miami. Gov Insider STB and SCDF Carnival 55 press conference. Government of Sint Maarten signs agreement with Fire Department on placement and compensation. From the island, Sint Maarten, this is SXM Daily News for April 10th, 2026. Naja Wyatta, gold medal winner in the boys U17 800m at the 2026 Carifta Games in Grenada, along with the athletic and aquatic team, received a hero's welcome at the Princess Juliana International Airport and the Raul Illich Sports Complex. The track athletes were welcomed by a large delegation of proud government officials, parents, and well-wishers at the airport, and by an even larger crowd at the Raul Illich Sports Complex, where the official ceremony took place. St. Maarten National Athletics Federation, in collaboration with the St. Maarten Sports Federation, SMSF, organized a welcome home for aquatic and athletic athletes. Wyatt, whose outstanding feat at the Games injected the 37-square-mile island into the middle-distance race medal board, was overwhelmingly appreciated by the massive, flag-waving, cheering supporters. The track and aquatic athletes who participated in the Games received certificates at the ceremony. The track athletes were Jolene Tomlin, U17 100, 200 May, and long jump, Sebastiana Reyes Camacho, javelin, Naja Wyatt, 800 Maria, Nasaya Wyatt, octathlon, Marlon Prince, long jump and 100m, Michael van der Veer, 100 mem, 200 men, long jump, Adio Williams, 200 mem and 400 mem, and Carlos Brisson Keynes, U20 800.
Looks like in the final positions, and this is a brave piece of front running.
Wyatt going out front there and stalking him very closely. The runner from Jamaica, Markland Williams. And Williams now with Wyatt coming round into the home straight. Can Wyatt hold him up? Wyatt just about does for the time being, but Williams not giving up. Williams keeps giving chase as they come across right now just behind our commentary position. It's going to be young Wyatt taking the gold for St. Maarten. Lord Cole, your thoughts on that? You talked about the fact that he was front running.
The government of Sint Maarten, represented by Prime Minister Dr. Luc Mercelina in his capacity as Minister of General Affairs, has signed a significant agreement with representatives of active and retired fire department personnel, bringing long-awaited clarity and resolution to matters of formal placement, career advancement, and retroactive compensation. This agreement marks a major milestone in addressing long-standing issues that have affected fire department personnel for years, including discrepancies in placement, promotion, and compensation. It establishes a structured and transparent framework to correct past shortcomings and ensure equitable treatment for both active and retired firefighters, recognizing their invaluable service and contributions to Sint Maarten. The agreement provides for the formal placement of all fire department personnel based on the new Function Book 2025, with retroactive effect to March 25, 2025. It also ensures that personnel are appropriately ranked and compensated in accordance with applicable requirements. Prime Minister Dr. Luc Mercelina welcomed the agreement as a critical step forward and a continuation of the government's commitment to the fire department. From day one, as Prime Minister, I have been committed to addressing the long-standing issues facing our firefighters. Today's agreement represents not the end, but a continuation of the way forward, delivering on that commitment and ensuring that our firefighters receive the compensation, recognition, and respect they deserve. Took office and made it clear that St. Martin needed a new approach in marketing, and that is a modern one that is targeted, efficient, and driven by results. Into digital, we lean into visibility. We need to tell our stories boldly and consistently, and the result speaks for itself, said Minister Heilige Martin. Has been trending internationally. People are talking about us, people are searching for us, and more importantly, people are coming. But because we saw something online, and they wanted to experience it for themselves, and right now, we are seeing a significant influx of influencers. Earlier, choosing St. Martin as their destination.
Carnival is just not a season. Carnival is who we are. It is our identity, it is our rhythm, it is the heartbeat of our island. And today I don't just want to talk about events. I want to talk about vision. A vision on how Carnival grows. A vision on how it reaches the world. A vision of how every single one of us benefits from that good. When I took office, I made it clear that St. Martin needed a new approach in marketing. And that is modern, one that is targeted, efficient, and driven by results. We lean into digital. We lean into visibility. We lean into telling our stories boldly and consistently. And the results speaks for themselves. St. Martin has been trending internationally. People are talking about us. People are searching us. And more importantly, people are coming. And because we saw something online, because they saw something online, and they wanted to experience it for themselves. And right now, we are seeing a significant influx of influencers, like Mike just said earlier, choosing St. Martin as their destination. Content creators from across the region and beyond are showcasing our island in real time, reaching thousands, even millions of viewers. And what that does is so powerful. It amplifies our story. It markets St. Martin as a complete destination, not just for Carnival, but for our beaches, our culture, our people, and our experience as a whole. That is the power of smart marketing, and that is the direction we're continuing in. But this year, we're taking it one step further. For the first time, the Ministry of TIA is going directly into the hotels. We're meeting visitors where they are and inviting them to our culture, not just to watch Carnival, but to feel it, to taste it, and to live it. We are showcasing our music, our food, our talent, and most importantly, our people. And as we step into this Carnival season, I want to make a call to our business community. I'm going to say it again because this is the second time I'm doing it. And to every resident of this beautiful island, this is our moment. Decorate your storefronts, light up your spaces, create that energy that makes people stop, look, and feel something. And to our people, let us be welcoming. Let us be proud and let us keep our island clean and vibrant. Because every interaction matters. Every post matters, and every recommendation matters. And we are all part of the marketing team now. So let's represent St. Martin the right way and show the world why we are truly the friendly island. Because when visitors come to St. Martin, they shouldn't just hear about Carnival. They should feel it. They should taste it. They should live it. And we're building something where when people hear the word Carnival, they don't think of Trinidad, but they think of St. Martin. Not as an afterthought, not as a footnote, but as a leader in the Caribbean culture, creative and food, music, and celebration. And let me say this clearly. For decades, Carnival has been supported by government. It has grown into its own successful and beloved national celebration. But what we're doing now is strengthening that foundation even further. Over the past 2 years under this ministry, we have increased financial support to the Carnival and created more space for structured collaboration with St. Martin Carnival Development Foundation and its stakeholders. You see Mike Rachel? He looks calm, eh? Look how calm he looks. Last year he was calm, to be calm this year again. I was just telling him he calm. We are moving towards a more sustainable and more organized and more impactful Carnival, one that benefits everyone, everyone that's involved. So now, as you know, government must follow its process. So while we have already laid the groundwork, the formal long-term agreement to be finalized and signed after Budget 2026 is approved is in keeping the proper governance procedure. But make no mistake, the direction is clear. This is my second Carnival as minister, and I'm fully committed. I'm watching Carnival right now at the community to continuing this momentum. We're building a Carnival that is not just for local, but globally recognized. A Carnival that elevates our artists, empowers our booth holders, supports our creatives, and strengthens our economy. And as part of that vision, we're launching a pilot initiative on the night of Soca Rumble. An experience we're proudly calling Feast and Fete, because that is exactly what it represents. Feast, a celebration of our rich, authentic food, like Mike said earlier, and I said it once, the biggest restaurant, open door restaurant in the Caribbean, or in the world. I should say world, why not? Maybe Caribbean. And Fete, the energy, the music, and the vibes of our soca culture. It is the perfect fusion of what makes St. Martin special, our flavor and our rhythm. A complimentary shuttle service from participating hotels to the festival village and back. That's what we're going to be doing on that night. Because that night, our local talent will be on full display, and our food will be on full display, and our culture will be at its absolute best. And we want visitors right there and then, right in the middle of it, to experience it, to taste it, and to live it. Because when our artists shine, St. Martin shines. And when our beat holders earn, St. Martin earns. And when our cultures is celebrating, St. Martin is celebrated. And that is how we grow, that is how we build, and that is how we take St. Martin to the next level together. So today, I want to thank SCDF, our promoters, our artists, our booth holders, and our frontline workers, and every single person who contributes to this festival, because Carnival belongs to us. Let us move forward with pride, with unity, with safety, and with confidence, because St. Martin Carnival is not just surviving, it is rising. It is expanding, and it's becoming a force in the region and beyond. And trust me, this is only the beginning. Thank you.
Member of Parliament Francisco La Cruz has formally requested an update from the Minister of Justice regarding the police-involved shooting that occurred on February 13th, 2026 in St. Peter's, which resulted in the death of Rudy Rock Benjamin. The incident, which took place in the St. Peter's community, involved police responding to reports of a firearm. During the encounter, officers discharged their weapons, and Benjamin was fatally struck. Authorities confirmed at the time that the matter had been handed over to the Landsrecherche for investigation. While an initial statement was issued following the incident, no further update has been provided since. MP La Cruz, who maintains close ties to the St. Peter's community, noted that the situation continues to weigh heavily on residents. This is a community I am closely connected to, and I continue to hear the concerns directly. People are not asking for interference in the investigation, but they are asking for clarity on where things stand. The parliamentarian emphasized that his request to the Minister of Justice is focused on obtaining a general update that does not compromise the ongoing investigation, but ensures that both Parliament and the public remain informed. The process must be respected, but communication should not end after the first statement. The incident has left a lasting impact within St. Peter's, with residents continuing to follow developments closely and seeking reassurance that the matter is being handled with the seriousness it deserves. MP La Cruz has requested information on the current stage of the process and how updates will be communicated moving forward. He stressed that maintaining public confidence requires consistent communication, particularly in matters involving the use of force. An update at this stage would go a long way in providing reassurance to the community. MP La Cruz now awaits a response from the Minister of Justice.
SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah, your social and health insurances.
The Court of First Instance has convicted 4 suspects in the case concerning the violent armed robbery at Splash Jewelers on July 9, 2025, at Simpson Bay Resort, imposing prison sentences of up to 7.5 years. SW was sentenced to 7.5 years imprisonment, taking into account prior convictions. RPP was sentenced to 6.5 years imprisonment. Identified as the individual who used the sledgehammer during the robbery. RM and EB were each sentenced to 6 years imprisonment for their roles in the offence. MM was acquitted, as the court found insufficient evidence of involvement at the crime scene, but was convicted for handling stolen goods. However, he will be released tomorrow, Friday. The prosecutor's office is reviewing the judgments. Natalie Tackling, Minister of Justice. The programs that my ministry has compiled on youth crime, speaking to the Member of Parliament.
Then we move on then to the second agenda point, which concerns youth intervention options, including military training. I want to be precise about how the ministry frames the youth problem, because precision matters. We're not speaking about an entire generation. We're speaking about 3 interconnected but distinct groups. We have at-risk youth. These are not offenders, but young people at heightened vulnerability. They're school dropouts, disengaged youth, those in unstable home environments. The policy implication are that these are primarily an education and social services matter and not a justice matter. Our role is to refer early and coordinate, but not prosecute. If we do not intervene at this stage, the risk of escalation into another group here on the picture rises sharply. Then we have youth exposed to violence. These young people are victims. They're witnesses or they're recruits under pressure. Exposure happens in their neighborhoods, around schools, and increasingly through social media. The policy implication here is that this group requires both targeted enforcement against those who create the violent environment and active community-level protection for young people caught within it. Then, of course, the youth that are in conflict with the law, young people who have come into contact with the justice system. In this situation, the state must respond, but proportionately and with a focus on behavioral change, not only on punishment. For first-time and low-level offenses, diversion is the right tool. Where serious violence occurs, the response must be firm, because the government also has a duty to protect victims and the wider community. Then we look at the root causes and risk factors. We can pull these into multiple groups as well. If we want results, we have to be clear about what drives youth vulnerability and youth offending. There's no single cause, and there is no single institution that can fix it. The risk factors cluster around several areas that reinforce one another. The first one is family and parenting capacity. For many young people, the first line of protection is the home. When the home environment is stable, supervised, and supportive, it reduces risk significantly. When it's unstable because of conflict, neglect, substance abuse, trauma, absence of consistent caregivers, or simply overwhelmed parenting capacity, the risk rises sharply. Mental health is part of this picture. Untreated trauma, behavioral challenges, or substance abuse-related issues in the home can set a young person on a downward spiral that eventually reaches the justice system. But I want to be clear that this is not about blaming parents. It's about recognizing that families sometimes need support. Parenting guidance, social services, mental health assistance, and early intervention when warning signs appear. We also need to be honest about one of the more uncomfortable realities. In St. Martin, many parents are simply not present because they cannot afford to be. Minimum wage, the cost of living, and the reality of working multiple jobs to make ends meet means that supervision and engagement at home are luxuries that many families cannot consistently provide. This is not a failing of those parents. It is a structural condition, and it is one that requires a policy response that goes well beyond what any justice system can deliver. If we want fewer young people entering the justice system, we must strengthen the ability of families to keep children safe, supervised, and engaged. The second one is education and school safety. Schools are not only places of learning. They are also major protective environments. When attendance is low, when students feel unsafe, and when discipline and support systems are weak, the likelihood of disengagement rises, and that creates space for negative influence. School absence and dropout are not minor administrative matters. They are often the earliest visible warning sign that a young person is losing daily structure, supervision, supportive networks, and a realistic path toward education or work. A serious youth strategy must therefore treat school safety and attendance as core pillars. Clear protocols, early warning and referral systems, and effective cooperation between education authorities, youth services, and where necessary, law enforcement, but always within lawful and proportionate boundaries. The third is socioeconomic opportunity. Youth risk rises sharply when young people see no realistic path to stability, no job prospects, no training pathway, no meaningful social mobility. In those conditions, illegal income and status can become attractive alternatives. Prevention, therefore, is not only about programs, it is also about opportunity. We need credible pathways into training, apprenticeships, first jobs, and mentorship, real options that lead somewhere. This is why the private sector, vocational institutions, and employers must be active partners. School and training providers can deliver skills, employers can offer supervised entry opportunities. Without that triangle, prevention remains abstract. And without mentorship, consistent guidance from adults who can set boundaries, model decision-making, and intervene early, too many at-risk youth are left without the anchor that they so desperately require.
The Dominican Republic reinforced its position as one of the America's fastest-growing tourism destinations after hosting its fourth signature trade show in Miami, bringing together more than 1,200 travel industry professionals from across the United States, Canada, and Latin America. The event attracted tour operators, travel agencies, airlines, cruise lines, and online travel agencies from more than 25 U.S. states and key regional markets, creating a platform for destination promotion, business negotiations, and strategic partnerships. Tourism officials said the sector remains a cornerstone of the Dominican Republic's economy. During the event, Tourism Minister David Collado highlighted tourism's estimated $15 billion contribution to gross domestic product along with $236 billion in net external income, $113 billion in taxes, and nearly 480,000 jobs supported nationwide. Trade Show 2026 demonstrated that the Dominican Republic not only leads in visitor arrivals, but also in its ability to generate real business opportunities and sustainable development across the entire tourism value chain, Collado said. The trade show featured more than 100 exhibitors and investment companies, generating over 1,800 scheduled business appointments, according to organizers.
Now for the weather forecast, today through Saturday midday. Variably cloudy with isolated showers. Surface winds, today through Saturday midday, east to southeast with a gentle to moderate breeze from 8 to 14 p.m. State of the sea. Slight to moderate waves, swells, 2 to 5 feet outlook through Sunday midday. Occasionally cloudy with scattered shower, and now your 3-day forecast.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah, your social health insurances.
St. Martin Library Belvedere location was transformed into a realm of imagination and giggles this Easter, as 19 early learners gathered for a day of storytelling, creativity, and a high-energy egg hunt. As part of the library's youth-centered programming, the event blended literacy with pure holiday joy. The morning kicked off with a cozy reading session of stories that sparked smiles, led by library staffer Daniel Helligar. Daniel shared the charming tale, "It's Better Being a Bunny," which had the children considering the perks of long ears and fluffy tails. The excitement reached an extra special peak with a surprise appearance by the Easter Bunny, who delighted the children with cheerful waves, playful interactions, and photo-worthy moments that added even more magic to the day. The energy shifted from sweet to hilarious when invited guest Rotarian Fabiana Bopathui-Richardson took the floor. She delivered a spirited and humorous reading of Bucky the Farting Easter Bunny's Butt Blast, which erupted in laughter, proving that a little bit of bunny business is the perfect way to keep young readers engaged and excited about books. Following the stories, the children channeled their excitement into creative coloring activities. Armed with crayons, the little artists brought Easter scenes to life, practicing their fine motor skills while discussing their favorite parts of the stories that were read to them. The Mental Health Foundation, MHF, in collaboration with the Community Development, Family and Humanitarian Affairs, CDFHA, Department of the Ministry of Public Health, Social Development and Labor, is proud to highlight the continued success and expansion of its Community Help Desk mental health initiative. The project was designed to improve the accessibility and feasibility of delivering mental health care services within community-based settings. Following a formal collaboration agreement with CDFHA, the initiative was launched as a pilot program in June 2024, beginning with services at the Hope Estate Community Help Desk. This is our SXM Daily Newscast. Thank you for joining us.